Welcome to the session on assignments in Blackboard. In the context of Blackboard, it refers to a specific type of interaction between the student and the course. Typically, it refers to an activity which requires students to submit a file. Though the facility to write directly is available, it is most likely that assignments will require students to complete work offline and then submit a file with the completed work. To set up an assignment, we would first set up the rubric using the grading criteria for the assignment. And then we will select the option for assignment from the assessments menu. And we want to set up the assignment in the content area where the students are going to submit the assignment. When setting up the assignment, you will have the option to modify several parameters. Therefore, designing an assignment before starting to work in Blackboard is a good idea. So let's look at the components of an assignment one by one. The first one, of course, is the title. The prompt includes the details of what the students need to do to complete the assignment, the requirements for length, and also the format of the file in which this assignment should be submitted. We also can provide students with files that they need to use in order to complete the assignment. The date on which the assignment is due, indicate the point value, what are the grading criteria used to grade this assignment, and that information is used to prepare the rubric. We can also determine if this is an individual or a group assignment, how many times you will allow the students to submit. You can also set the utility available for plagiarism check in Blackboard called Safe Assign. We can indicate how the grade is to be displayed, whether it's to be displayed as a percentage, point value, letter grade, and so on. And then we can indicate whether the grade is going to be included in the grade center calculations. Hide the assignment until we decide to reveal it to the students, or we can set the display time frame during which the assignment will be visible to the students. When grading the assignment, we will be able to use annotation tools to mark up the submitted file with comments and circles and so on. We can also grade using the rubric that we have attached to the assignment. We can enter the grade. We can enter the feedback in addition to all of the above. And then finally, if the student has multiple attempts, we can grade each attempt. And then we can also check the Safe Assign score. So back to the design document, we have two assignments that need to be set up in our Sea Turtles course. The first one is assignment 1.1, and then the next one is assignment 2.1. So that's in weeks 1 and 2. Before we set up the assignment, let us first get the rubric set up. And so the rubric is available under Course Tools, Rubric. And now instead of creating a new rubric, I'm going to just make a copy of a previously created assignment rubric and then edit it. And I noticed that there are 4 criteria that are already set here. And in this, we have 5. So we are going to first need to add a row. And then once the row is added, we do need to edit the percentage range. And then we will update the criteria with the titles we have here. Now before moving on, I need to make sure that the weightages for each criterion are set correctly. Here it is 30, 50, 10, 5, and 5. So 30. And our trusty Blackboard is telling us that it does add up to 100%. Now at this point, if you choose to, you can also add the descriptors within each of these cells. We will not do that for now. And so we are going to go ahead and click Submit. So now let's go to the weekly content. Unlike discussions, journals, wikis, and tests, the assignments have to be set in the content area where the students will be submitting them. So since our first assignment is in week 1, we click on week 1, go to assessments and select assignment. I'm going to basically copy the information from my design document and paste it in here. We have set up the prompt. Let's move down to see what other options we have here. If my students needed to have access to a specific file, I could attach the file to this assignment using these options. Here is how I can set the due date. So let's go ahead and set the due date on the 8th of October. Points are 150. So let's add in 150 points. Now I'm going to go ahead and select the rubric that I'm attaching to this assignment, and that is this one, submit. And once I've submitted, I do want my students to be able to see the rubric score, so select yes. Now let's move on to submission details. This is an individual submission, but if you had groups set up in your course, you could also make this assignment a group assignment. How many times do you want the students to be able to submit the assignment? So if you select multiple, you can select how many. And here you can decide which of these attempts you're going to consider for your grade. We check this so that their submission will be matched against the database that is available in SafeAssign for plagiarism. And then I also want my students to be able to see their own scores. We don't make any changes here for now, but we can choose how we want the grades displayed in our grade center. I usually select percentage as the secondary display with the score. Now, if you had an assignment you were not looking to include in the grade center, you could uncheck this. Now, if I uncheck this, the students will not be able to see the assignment. Next, I can set the range of dates between which the assignment will be visible to my students. I can check that, and I can say that the assignment should be available to my students starting the 16th all the way into October 17th. So the students will see this assignment within this range of dates. Click submit. When we are ready to grade the assignments that have been submitted by the students, we would go to the grade center and access the full grade center. And at this point, if a student has submitted the assignment, you will see the yellow exclamation point. So now I can go to view grade details, click on view attempts, and the assignment should show up here. I can use the annotation tools to mark up the assignment. I can also use the comment tool to enter specific comments. And I can also use these geometric shapes. When I click in this field here, I will see the rubric. I can enter the grade for each of the criteria. I can fine-tune my grade within the range that was entered in the rubric. As I identify the grades for each of the criteria, this raw total keeps getting updated. So as you see, if I change this, the 128.70 will change to 129. I can go here, and if I decide instead of 129, I want it to be 130, I can enter that information here. You can also enter the feedback here, but I usually don't enter the feedback here. I would save the rubric and enter the feedback. If you want to enter feedback with formatting, you can click on this letter A, and it will open up a window with the formatting options. So you can enter the feedback here, and then when you're ready, you can click submit. And when you're finished with grading, annotating, and so on, if you click submit, that grade will now show up in the grade center.